All right. By popular demand, Deuce McBride versus the Maine Red Claws. I guess that's a red claw. It's a lobster. That's what it is. Anyway, um, Deuce had his second G League game. He ended up scoring 28 points with 6 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, a block, 5 3-pointers, shot a little over, I think 43% from the field, had his usual stout defense. And it's really hard to get G League highlights of particular players. And when you do, you might get only their made field goals. And I wanted to see what an actual game looks like from Deuce because we haven't really seen that since college. So I decided to tune in shortly after the game was done. The G League puts most of their games on YouTube for free. So I went and clipped a bunch of stuff that popped, some of it good, some of it bad, some of it just regular Deuce activity that y'all expect, and turn it into a little compilation video with a little narration for your listening pleasure. Since I got this fancy mic now that the powers that be wanted me to not sound like I was calling in from a commute on I-95 for Pod Strickland. So here we go. We can jump right into it. I'll try to pause and rewind. Not that much, but bear with me. First time. Cool. So the first thing you'll see is Deuce. So Deuce, I guess it's just some context. Deuce plays both off ball and on ball a lot in the game. And he also played with Luka Samanic, the other big, awesome prospect from the Knicks, who's currently fourth in the G League and scoring somewhere around 28 a game, 50, 40, 90. And you'll see him a lot in these highlights. And Westchester sometimes runs him at the 4 with a traditional center, but they also run him at the 5, playing 5 out a lot, which allowed both of them some freedom. So that's kind of the context in which they play. And like a lot of G League teams, they really get up and down the court, and it's a bit of a chuck fest. So this was early on in the game. Deuce just ready to fire, 0-0. Contest from a wing, doesn't matter. Gets it up. Didn't go in. Still a pretty ambitious shot. Again, similar situation. Bigger player, doesn't really bother him. Well, maybe a little bit, but he took a step back. So the first thing you know is he's trying to be aggressive, and he's trying to expand his off the dribble game, which was very proficient in college from mid range, even if his percentages weren't elite. It was the bread and butter of his game. He's trying to expand that to the 3-point line. His shot is a very easy release, so it's an easy transition for him to get those shots. Making them is another thing, but getting them, it's easier for him than it would be for some other guys, I think, because of how comfortable he is shooting both from distance and off the bounce, which is part of the reason I was so high on him, even if his eye test comfort was a little bit greater than his on-court results at West Virginia. Here you see another pick and roll, and you'll see the around the back pass, pretty easy stuff. He's really good at making the simple pass without hesitation. You'll see that a lot on display, especially to popping bigs. Really good at that. Makes you wonder what he could do with someone like Julius Randle or Miles Turner. Here you see other Deuce behavior, mixing it up, getting physical, and then just piecing out. This was his first hustle bucket of the game. Nice little floater. Another thing I'll touch on. He played in a more traditional lineup at West Virginia, 2 bigs. Was more content taking midi pull-ups than floaters. So the question of whether he could shoot the floater was an open one. I know we kind of assume all small guards coming into the league have that, but that's not necessarily the case. Kyra Lewis says hi. We thought he would develop it. He still hasn't. About 2 years in. He's still young, so there's still a chance, but it's a really important shot for one position guards, or even 2 position guards, really. So seeing that being deployed is good news. Here, rejects the screen, drives left. Good move, poor finish. Here's another clip. Rejects the screen. Guy stays with him. Let me run that back real quick. Rejects the screen. Resets a bit. Foul. See the offhand moving him out the way. That's good development. Guys sometimes come into the league with that. You didn't see a ton of that from Miles in college. The ability to wave guys back and then challenge at the rim. And this one, unlike the last one, he makes it. Good stuff. Here you see Miles over here. A lot of the time he was stuck off ball. Maine didn't really run their offense through their through their point guards a lot of the time. So he was stuck doing off ball defense, which he's fine at. He's not like a game breaker and he doesn't see things unfold super early, but he was for the most part where he was supposed to be. Here you see him string out the defense. It's something he ran it back a little too much. You see him string out the defense on the pick from Luka again, and he does that a ton. And then you see the little one-handed flip pass. He loves flip passes. He loves hook passes. He loves one-handed passes. That's his thing. There was like 9,000 of them. 75% of them were which to Luka. So yeah, it's back, puts it up, cash money off the catch. It's light work for him. Here, another little handoff action. That was an example of something that is pretty rare from Deuce. He's not very turnover prone, even though he is erratic, even though that's somehow a contradiction. His assist turnover ratio in college was spectacular. It was above 3, if I respect. Here, it's a good idea. He maybe should have gone for the pass up top rather than the pass to the wing. So, hopefully you don't see too much of that in the future, but I want it to be fair, not just clip the good stuff. So there you go. Cool hair, bro. He wasn't really pushing it up the court much. Pretty content to walk it up for what it's worth. Here takes the screen, stop and pop. This is one of those remnants of his college game that he didn't do this a ton today. So or during this game. So I wouldn't worry too much, but this is an example of what he probably has to just trim out of his game a little bit. Like a off the dribble contested high glass bank midi is not the wave. He can make it because he's talented, but yeah, maybe one of those per game max Deuce. Here you see him switch around. Not much to say. He was pretty proficient on defense. Nothing. He got a lot of deflections, a lot of on the ground loose ball fights, and 3 steals. But this wasn't one of his game breaking defense games, so to speak, like we saw versus Cade or in situations like that as a prospect. Like them long ass arms. Switches back. Shades the paint. I don't even remember what happened in half these clips, so I'm basically watching them for the first time again. So bear with me. Why is this clip so long? What the hell did I even clip? All right, ain't nobody got time for Red Claw free throws. What is this? All right, that was weird. My bad. Here we go. Kick out, drive, another midi. This is what I'm talking about. He can make that, but it's a tough one. You want to go all the way to the rim. You want to probe. Although it's good to have in his bag. Defense to offense for the Westchester Knicks and ending in the slam for Deuce. This is the one y'all already saw. Bomb, head top. Hold that. Athleticism gains are real. We've seen it with Quickly. Quickly doesn't have hops, but he's gotten more explosive. Deuce could not jump that high in college. He's always had hops, but that's NBA development for you. Here, lets the screen pass, resets, gets another screen, little in and out, little hezzy, resets. A lot of dribbles here, a lot of fakes to not go that far, but finds open man in the corner. It's a great look, right? When you're not going to absolutely blow by guys, you got to work off what advantages you have. So he does that successfully here. After doing a nice string of combos that didn't really go anywhere. Here you see Deuce fall asleep a little bit on the back cut, but gets back to stymie his man here. A little handoff action, drive and kick back out. Him and Luka really had a great two-man game with Luka at the 5. Again, same action, curling around, light work, no rim. See, with Luka at the 5, there was no real rim protection, so that was easy. That was easy for Deuce. Again, different direction. Luka pops, simple, easy stuff. 2 screens here in the action, holds him on his hip, behind the back again, which we saw earlier, but can't capitalize. Luka going to work. Another action. This time Luka rolls, gets him on his hip, kicks to the to Mr. Powell, lifting from the corner. So I want to run that back real quick. That was a good one because you want to see point guards make different reads. You see flows way off Powell. So Powell smartly lifts. Powell never met a shot he didn't like. Bong, bong. Another pick. This time Hezzy. The good defense by the Red Claws, and another poor shot by Miles. He gets a little stuck in that floater mid-range, but then this is what you like to see. He comes back and gets a good deflection to eliminate the advantage for the Red Claw. So Miles giveth, and then he taketh back. Here, little baseline action, resets. I don't know what happened on Luka there. I think there was an off-ball foul, but it was a good example. Run that back real quick. Damn, here. You see the guy try to shade Miles baseline. Miles goes baseline. Luka pops the hook pass again. It's a great pass. Got to shoot that. He's not normally shy, but the help defense was there, so whatever. I think it was a travel. You'll see Westchester was losing in this game. Nobody aside from Samanic was particularly efficient. Deuce was kind of efficient, but after that, it wasn't a great game for the rest of the Westchester Knicks. So they were playing from behind pretty much the whole game. Samanic calls for it after Deuce was top locked. They get the same action they've been doing all game. Samanic rolls, bam. Look at that shit. Beautiful. Air ball was awful, but that was so beautiful. I'm going to run that back. Hold on a minute. He sees the corner man float to Samanic as he's rolling. Samanic has been killing the whole game. It wasn't even a hard roll by Samanic. Just bad defense from the Red Claws. But, I mean, Samanic had done most of the work for Westchester, so there you go. And he doesn't even, I don't know if this was intentional, but he didn't deliver it to where the shooter was. He delivered it to the corner where the shooter needed to go. So he passed him to the right spot. If he passed him over here instead of the corner, then that's a much easier closeout. So if intentional, great. If not, good accident. Here, another instance of Deuce showing Marcus Smart-like quickness, deflection, good stuff. Another high screen. This one was a bit further out, closer to 30 feet. Another jail. It doesn't flip it back this time. Well, he does, but late. Still gets an open man. Still works out because Samanic is really good. So the timing on that last one was a little late, but the window remained open, so it worked out. Here's another hook pass on a high screen. Wop, wop. Light work. Just handoff on a broken play. Most of his threes came in the fourth. Transition, Euro step. But I don't know what Deuce was doing. Just look at this. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to relax, Deuce. So, yeah, his decision-making still a little ambitious sometimes. Just hook pass it back, playa. Boom. Punch that shit. But it's okay. We still love you, Deuce. Here, Deuce goes right. Finds defense. Samanic again. They have great chemistry. Slip and slide. Broken play. Keeps his dribble. Floats it to the corner. And this is fuck it from NBA range, which he does sometimes, and he can do. Nice bailout option. Down by more than 10 at this point. Game's basically done. Another one. you know, you'd rather see it than not. But you wonder if they can set him up for some more 4-point line shots in the future, similarly to how the Knicks do with IQ. So that's something I'd be interested to see from future G League stints, just him spacing at the 4-point line, or even just pulling off the dribble from there like IQ does, because that's clearly in his range. Theo Pinson, that's who was killing us. Shout out Theo. Close defense, step back, yak. That I don't know if that, I guess that missed. No, I don't know. Anyway, there you go. 7 minutes of highlights. There you go. He had a good game. He showed a lot of the skills that made him a high pick, or not a high second round pick. And I don't think he's going to get many minutes with Tibbs in the big club. So you like to see him be assertive, and you like to see him showing steps forward in his game, whether it's the athleticism, whether it's more pick and roll play, because Bob Huggins did not run many pick and rolls for Deuce and for his team. So we actually didn't get to see him orchestrate that much. So just the sheer volumes of pick and rolls that he gets high up top with Luka, both of the pop and the roll variety, are great for his development in the limited games he gets there. So, I think as far as utilizing the G League to develop a player with who's not there that often, this is exactly what you want to see from the Westchester Knicks when Deuce is there. So on that note, we'll see what happens. It's your boy Prez, Deuce fan number 1, and hopefully we'll see him back in Westchester soon so I can do this again.